Charlie Chaplin and his brother Sidney were placed in an orphanage at a very early age. Becoming a vaudeville performer, he joined Fred Carno's company in 1906. He made his film debut in Making a Life 1914 and introduced the famous city and soft-hearted gentleman tramp routine, which became his hallmark. Straddling Asia and Europe across the strait, the old city of Istanbul, Turkey, has embraced diverse cultural influences. Known for its monumental architecture, Istanbul has become a cherished travel destination. Participating regularly in physical activity has been shown to benefit an individual's health and well being. Regular physical activity is important in reducing the risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease and stroke, obesity, diabetes, and some forms of cancer. The National Physical Activity Guidelines for adults recommends at least 30 minutes of moderate intensity physical activity, preferably every day of the week, to obtain health benefits. The power of the sun, wind, and sea may soon combine to produce clean burning hydrogen fuel, according to researchers. A team integrated water purification technology into a new proof of concept design for a seawater electrolyzer, which uses an electric current to split apart the hydrogen and oxygen in water molecules. European wildcats, thought to be extinct 50 or so years ago in the Jura Mountains, have since recolonized part of their former territory. This resurgence in an area occupied by domestic cats has gone hand in hand with genetic crosses between the two species. A team of biologists modeled the interactions between the two species to predict that hybridization will entail the irreversible genetic replacement of wild cats. The transition from the brick and mortar structure to click and order model started with the emergence of information technology and its use in the financial sector. The use of technology in banking has resulted in availability of multiple delivery channels like ATMs, telebanking, internet banking, and mobile banking. Tasmania is a large and relatively sparsely populated island off the south coast of Australia. The island is of particular interest to natural scientists who go there to research the unique wildlife. Tasmania has, for example, 12 species of bird that are not found anywhere else in the world. Domestication is an evolutionary rather than a political development. They were more likely to survive and prosper in an alliance with humans than on their own. Humans provided the animals with food and protection, in exchange for which the animals provided the humans their milk and eggs and, yes, their flesh. Akimbo. This must be one of the odder looking words in the language and puzzles us in part, because it doesn't seem to have any relatives. What's more, it is now virtually a fossil word, until recently almost invariably found in arms akimbo, a posture in which a person stands with hands on hips and elbows sharply bent outward, one signaling impatience, hostility, or contempt. The elephant is the largest living land mammal. During evolution, its skeleton has greatly altered from the usual mammal, designed for two main reasons. One is to cope with the great weight of huge grinding teeth and elongated tusk, making the skull particularly massive. The other is to support the enormous bulk of such a huge body. Prolonged exposure to loud noise alters how the brain processes speech, potentially increasing the difficulty in distinguishing speech sounds, according to neuroscientists. Exposure to intensely loud sounds leads to permanent damage of the hair cells, which act as sound receivers in the ear. Once damaged, the hair cells do not grow back, leading to noise induced hearing loss. London's National Portrait Gallery is currently celebrating the 50-year career of photographer Sandra Lousada. The 21 portraits on display depict key features in literature, film, and fashion from the early 1960s. Subsequent to the acquisition of 40 portraits by Lousada, the display at the National Portrait Gallery highlights shots taken between 1960 and 1964, many of which feature in Lousada's book Public Faces, Private Places 2008. Formal commission portraits are shown alongside behind the scenes photographs taken on film sets and unguarded portraits of sitters captured at home. Artificial neural networks have recently become the state of the art technique for crucial signal processing applications, such as specific frequencies classification, structured health monitoring, diseases detection in power electronics, circuitry, and motor fault detection. This is an expected outcome as there are numerous advantages of using an adaptive and compact dip counterparts. Particularly, it can be effectively trained with a limited data set of signals besides requiring data transformation. Pluto lost its official status as a planet when the International Astronomical Union downsized the solar system from 9 to 8 planets. Although there has been a passionate debate at the IAU General Assembly meeting in Prague about the definition of a planet and whether Pluto met the specifications, the audience greeted the decision to exclude it with applause. Charlie Parker noticed that the solos were only improvised through the melodies, but that he could also improvise them through the chords, thus creating new variations over the structure of the songs and also playing more notes and faster. The Roman state was tested almost to destruction by the defeat at Cannae by the Carthaginians led by Hannibal, and according to the historian Polybus, it was only what he called the peculiar virtues of the Roman constitution that allowed it to survive this crisis. The core of the problem was the immense disparity between the country's productive capacity and the ability of people to consume. Great innovations in productive techniques during and after the war raised the output of industry beyond the purchasing capacity of US farmers and wage earners. The Royal Institution is an organization that has been around for 209 years. Many of the people that have worked here have been scientists themselves, including Michael Faraday. He made the discoveries that may be generating or using electricity much easier, making it possible for us all to switch on lights, cook for dinner, play games, and much more. The audio, which includes more than 1,000 separate data files, was captured in the early 1970s by the late Hattie Vanderio. She recorded the various screams, barks, and how calls made by a group of chimps, including 17 youngsters, living in the Gombe National Park in Tanzania. The most important issue is concerned with the problem of funding. Social services receive different donations or grants from the government. However, these sums are not sufficient for the solution of all problems. The second most important issue consists in the huge spending. The money social services achieve is not enough for the normal functioning. The third problem affecting human services is the lack of skilled and experienced employees.